In my first video, I talked about what it felt like to finally understand my life at 68 years old, after a lifetime of chaos, confusion, and self-blame. Today, I want to take you back to where it really started, not with a diagnosis, not with rehab, but with a 15-year-old kid who had no idea what was about to happen. Because this journey doesn't start at 68, it started in fear. When I was 15, I lived in a house that never really felt like a home. It felt more like a war zone. Some days were quiet, very few were quiet, I can assure you. Most days felt like you were walking on glass or surrounded by hand grenades. You never knew what mood was walked through the door. My father drank, he gambled, he carried a lot of anger. And when that anger came out, let me tell you, everyone in that house felt it. We all lived in fear. I didn't have words for it back then. I just knew I was always on edge, always alert, always bracing, and always scared in that environment. And then one day, out of the blue, when I was 15, he took me to the pub. He sat me down and he said, and I'll paraphrase here because that was a long time ago, "Now's about the time you need to learn how to drink." Now, I already had a brain wired for intensity, impulsivity, and urgency. That moment lit a fuse I wouldn't understand for decades. From that day on, alcohol became part of my life. And even before I understood myself, I was on a collision course. By the time I reached my 20s, I was drinking every day. I married at 20 odd years old. We had two daughters. They're both grown now. They're both in their 40s. But even with a family, the pattern never stopped. Relationships came and went. Jobs came and went. Marriages came and went. I got married again. Years later, had another child, a son. He's in his mid-30s now. Over 50 employers. That doesn't even include the businesses I started and abandoned. Ideas came fast, dreams came fast, everything came fast, but nothing ever stayed. And the guilt was constant. People thought I was unreliable, undisciplined, unstable. I thought I was unstable. And the worst part, I believed them. Like I said, I tried harder than most people will ever know. And the harder I tried, the worse it seemed to get. My mind was just chaos, noise, static, urgency without direction, thinking too much and still getting it wrong. And I thought I was broken. Well, I thought I was broken. Maybe I didn't think at all. In my 40s, something finally stuck. I built my own business. I was in the building game, the construction industry. I loved it, and I was pretty good at it. For nearly 20 years, I worked hard. I mean, really, really hard. I made a ton of money and lost every single cent of it. Not because I was lazy, not because I didn't care, but because of impulsive decisions, unchecked behavior, and a brain I just didn't understand, but didn't know it at the time. Money came in really fast. Money went out faster. I look back now, I don't feel shame anymore. I feel clarity. About 10 years ago, I was first diagnosed with ADHD. You think that would have changed everything. It didn't. It didn't change anything. Why? Because ADHD doesn't just affect your focus. It affects your follow through. I didn't follow it up. Years later, I was diagnosed again and again. What did I do with it? Nothing. Again. Then in 2023, a psychiatrist confirmed it again and said I needed to see a psychologist and begin proper treatment. Once again, did I do anything? No. Not because I didn't care, because I had an ADHD mind. And ADHD was still running the system, the program. Drinking kept going, escalating even more. 5 years ago, I entered rehab for the first time. Then again, and again. See the pattern here? Over and over and over. Something about continuing the same activity and expecting a different result. And in 2025, this year alone, 3 entries, 3 admissions, January, March, and then August. It wasn't willpower that was missing. It was understanding. And in August and into September of this year, everything finally changed. I followed through. I saw the right professionals. I got my medication right. And for the first time in my life, the noise stopped. You have no idea what it's like for the noise to stop. Or maybe you do. Maybe you've had ADHD or still have it. I don't think you get rid of it. I think you just learn to deal with it through medication or whatever program you're on. I mean, I didn't become perfect. I just became clear. For the first time, my mind slowed down. Thoughts lined up instead of colliding. Urgency became direction. And the voice that called me a failure, well, it just disappeared. I could finally see the pattern of my life, not as a series of mistakes, but as a lifetime of untreated ADHD. Today I move, I exercise, I'm back at work, not full-time, but a lot more than what I've done in the last 5 years, I can tell you. I'm present. I enjoy my life. It's fun. Not in a chaotic way, but in a calm, steady, grounded way. I'm 68 years old, and for the first time in my life, I'm starting to understand myself in big chunks. Now, if you're 20, 40, 60 or older, and you feel like your life is over, it's not. If you're still upright and breathing, the journey isn't finished. And if someone like me, who's lived decades in confusion, addiction, guilt, and chaos, can find clarity now, then so can you. This series isn't about blame. It's about understanding. And in the next episode is where the real rebuilding begins. Now, thank you for listening. If you like my content, please share, like, and subscribe. Think about sharing it with someone who might have a similar battle with this disorder. And I look forward to talking to you soon in the next video. Cheers.